before I ask you to expound on that, maybe you'd like to identify what particular problems were you actually addressing by making these proposals?
Oh, okay. Your Honor, on the first part, you see, Your Honor, whenever we speak about the institutional autonomy of the judiciary, judicial independence, we think in terms of immunizing the appointments process from politics. And the chief mechanism, of course, is the judicial and bar council. We think of fiscal autonomy, the budgetary power of the court, so that it can operate and work without constant intrusion from the political branches of government. And what I wanted to point out, Your Honor, in the IBP forum, is that there is a completely separate and distinct source of political pressure on the court. And that is of the court being drawn into political controversy. And the best proof, Your Honor, is that today there is an official court spokesman. Inherited wisdom says that a court speaks only through its decisions and nothing beyond that. And that was the position, in fact, of the court. I still remember when it was first proposed. That was the official position of the court. Why will we hire someone to interpret our decisions for us? And yet today, it is an entrenched position. Why? Because our people have higher expectations of accountability. They want someone to announce a decision on mass media and explain it to them in popular terms. So, Your Honor, that is for me, the other angle of pressure upon the courts. And that is why, for me, faced with that pressure, the court is, as I've said earlier, under pressure to respond to some of the, let us face it, there will be rallies, there will be concerted campaigns in the newspapers for or against a certain decision, for or against a certain party. And we have to strengthen the court so that it can stand firm, stand fast against such pressures. That's where I was coming from, Your Honor.
Okay. I guess for some, or for many, especially the court employees, they're really more concerned, how will the next Chief Justice improve our quality of life, how we are able to perform our functions as court employees? Well, how would you address those concerns?
Oh, Your Honor, I can actually build upon my own record as an administrator at UP. I always push for improved. In fact, that is. Thank you, Your Honor, for your language. That is how I called it: the quality of life, the quality of life of our employees, and creative ways to improve their salaries and their benefits. So that is a cause to which I have long ago committed myself. I would like to think I delivered upon that hope vis-a-vis my own employees. And for the court, Congressman Tupas asked earlier about the JDF. There is also, of course, the budgetary allocation from the national government. It is my hope that those are the sources by which that can be tapped to ensure.
Could you be more specific as to how you would improve the quality of life? I mean,
well,
of course, it helps if their income is augmented.
Yes.
But other than that, is there something else that you may want to propose that would improve the quality of how they live, so that they'll be encouraged also to improve their services?
Well, Your Honor, of course, enhancing salaries and benefits would be the key element, and that is accessible via the JDF. So for me, Your Honor, it is not an iffy prospect, as iffy, for instance, as saying that we must secure a greater budgetary allocation from the national government. Certainly that is something that we should hope for. But I think within the JDF, that should be doable.
Thank you, Dean. Now, the courts are only as good as the people that you put in them. So that is a bigger responsibility of the JBC. But I read in your opening statement that you have some criticism as to how, the process by which we nominate judges, as well as the requirements. Now, First of all, let's go to the requirements, the documentary requirements. Which one did you find difficult to comply with?
Your Honor, I had to get, I think, 8 or 9 clearances from different government agencies. And if I put myself in the shoes of of a young lawyer looking for an entry-level position in the judiciary, and he doesn't have access to staff, and he would have to drive from one office to another, we are basically taking back with one hand what we give with the other. In other words, we encourage him, we push him to apply, and then when we're about to apply, we make it so difficult. I propose, Your Honor, a very practical solution. These are doable through interagency agreements that the JBC can arrange with all the government agencies involved. Just to show you, Your Honor, the details and the nitty-gritty of this, I imagine they might resist it because there will be an income, there will be foregone income, because right now there is a fee that is charged for these clearances. But again, it is my hope that that is an element that the JBC can negotiate with these officers, so that when the when the applicant puts together his file before the JBC, he can focus on the substantive stuff, the things that he has written, the things that he has done, rather than getting the purely ministerial clearances, which can be dealt with purely administratively without burdening the applicant. So that is my. I hope it wasn't seen as an attack upon the institution. In fact, Your Honor, given a choice between the JBC system that we have today and the pre-martial law system under the 35 Constitution, I do go for the JBC system, because we have seen how that operated, that we borrowed the system from the U.S. I have read how it operated before under martial law. I have seen on TV how it operates before the U.S. confirmation proceedings, and I think that the JBC system is the preferable system. So it's not a fundamental criticism. But yes, I did present those suggestions before the integrated bar. The other, Your Honor, is a more proactive sense of recruitment, of spotting good material out there. It is difficult to do it, certainly from the standpoint of the council working alone. But I think the council can also join hands with the integrated bar, with the local chapters, with retired judges. These are the people who have either the time or the energy to spot good material out there, to encourage them to apply. I've seen it happen, and I think that a more proactive recruitment of material, and Your Honor, starting not just with young lawyers, but trying to spot them even at the stage of law school, those with a judicial temperament, should have a good effect.
Thank you on your suggestions, well taken. But it may interest you to know that we've already started addressing the problem on the documentary requirements. For instance, you can actually just phone in your request to the IBP and then pay online. You need not go there personally to get a clearance. And insofar as the ombudsman clearance is concerned, you may actually apply for it online if you're not aware yet that that's.
I'm not.
Okay, then we're on that track. But other than that, there's no other way for us to determine whether you have all the qualifications and none of the disqualifications. So, like I said, the point well taken. Now,
Your Honor.
on this will probably be my last question, considering the time. Could you cite instances in your legal career which would show that you have the qualities, not just the experience and the knowledge needed by the next Chief Justice, particularly when it comes to drawing your colleagues in the court to agree with you, to build a consensus in order to achieve a vision and to accomplish the reforms that you are setting forth?
And you're asking, Your Honor, for specific episodes in my own career. Well, I will have to fall back on my experience as dean at the UP College of Law, because presiding over a faculty would require me to to bring together the faculty to accept measures that perhaps normally might be resisted. I'll give details. They might be boring outside an academic setting, but even the simple exercise of a teaching evaluation survey, where teachers are basically graded by the students, can be resisted. The simple exercise of having a dialogue between which we have institutionalized, by the way, between the faculty and students, is something that otherwise might be resisted. And I'm very pleased to say that those reforms have taken root. And in fact, today, long after I have stepped down, they continue to be carried out. So what I'm saying is that handled otherwise with less care and with less sensitivity, these are reforms that might be resisted by the more traditional faculty, but in that context were accepted.
Thank you, Dean. May I just make a follow-up? Because you mentioned in an evaluation process among the professors of law in the College of Law, there is also need for us to look into the possibility of an evaluation system also for the performance of judges in order to aid all agencies, including the JBC, for promotion, for perhaps incentives, if that is something that can be done, in the future, so that those judges who actually perform better are rewarded accordingly. Not just, we don't have to wait for a Judicial Excellence Award, to happen. If they perform silently and they're able to declog their dockets, and perhaps they should also be given and afforded the merit and the recognition. So with that, Mr. Justice Peralta, I have no further questions. Thank you. Good luck, Dean.
Salamat po.
Attorney Mejia.
Thank you, Justice Peralta. Good afternoon, Dean Pangalangan. Alam niyo po, meron kasi kaming usapan dito sa